Hey guys, Kevin Powell here with the podcast once again, and it's incarceration time. I was there last year, back again this year. I had a blast at incarceration, and I just have that itch again. And I have all these bands I want to talk to, and I have Devin from IC Stars here today. Devin, how we doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, man. It looks like you're taking a nice little walk. You have a day off, right?
Day off in Orlando, and I'm just enjoying the sunshine and the humidity.
Well, thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out for a little bit. How does it feel performing at this year's Incarceration Festival?
Oh, we're very excited. We've just been hitting a lot of festivals this year that we have never been able to perform at in the past. So it's just really an honor to share the stage with some of these bands we grew up listening to, and yeah, we're really pumped.
So, what can fans really expect from this year's Incarceration performance from you guys?
I think you know I think fans can just expect to hear a song that they love, because we're really going down the entire catalog and trying to touch a little bit on everything and kind of walk fans through a little bit of the history of our band. And there's a lot of these festivals, it's just a mixed bag of fans, but there's also a lot of people that have never heard of us or even seen us. So we just find this really great opportunity to kind of walk people through all the colors of our band and all the shapes and sizes of our music. So yeah, so I think any fan coming to see us at Incarceration, they can most likely expect to hear a song they love from any album that they've maybe jumped in on the bandwagon.
Well, I know I'm excited to see you guys. It's been since Warped Tour. I don't remember what year it was since I've seen you. So seeing this newer version of IC Stars has me excited. I know other fans will be as well. Are there any specific songs that you specifically are excited to play?
Yeah, I mean, I love playing new songs. I think it's a common thread that you find with bands. I mean, you perform a record for so long, and then you get to a point where you're releasing new music, and it just kind of changes things up. And there's like this, sense of, I guess, just fresh feeling, a little bit of nerves. A lot of it kind of breaks the wheel a little bit. So I really enjoy playing songs like Anomaly and Are We Even, which are two new songs we've put out. But one song that we're playing that I just really love and I've always loved playing live is a track off our record Treehouse. It's called White Lies. And it's just like a totally different song than anything in our catalog. And it kind of translates that way live. It just feels like a moment that you don't really a lot of times you don't really get at all throughout the whole show, no matter what band's playing, because it's just a different kind of song. It's a little bit of, it's kind of got a ballad feel, but it goes into this chorus that's just really powerful. And it's not the song you're going to open a mosh pit to. It's just the kind of song that you're going to sit there and just take in and enjoy, so it really does feel like a moment in our set. And I really always appreciate that.
I will say Treehouse is right up there with maybe one of my top 5 best produced albums. It sounds so good. That came out in 2016. That's crazy. And White Lies is definitely up there for top IC Stars songs for me. So I can't wait to experience this thing live. So you talked a little bit about nerves. I want to know how do you prepare for like a big festival like this? What's your pre-show routine for something like this?
Man, I mean, I am probably one of the most boring people to tour with, because my entire life out here revolves around the show. I mean, and it doesn't, I don't bend the rules. I'm very much like fully focused. Right after a show, I'm already focused on tomorrow and making sure I'm warming down and taking the proper steps for the rest of the night to just kind of prepare for the show, coming up. And I think festivals are a little different because as opposed to like a headlining show where you might be going on stage around 9-10 p.m., festivals you might be going on more around like 3 p.m., So So for me, it's the routine has to start instantly. And so I'm waking up a little bit earlier, usually around like 7 a.m. and just kind of getting the blood flowing. And, I always try to do some sort of form of exercise to, open up the pathways. And I always find that that's just a really good way to, supercharge your voice and just kind of get it ready for an earlier set. But yeah, the outdoor festivals, depending on where it is, it always seems to be, especially in the summertime, just really dry, man. So I'm drinking a lot of water. I'm doing just a lot of warming up. I do straw exercises like all day long. And like I said, man, anybody that comes on tour, like a friend or, a girlfriend or, my bass player's wife or just anybody that comes out and sees me, they're like, man, you are just to yourself and to the grid the entire tour. And it's very true, like I never really turn it off. And but I love what I do up there and I just want to make sure I do the best possible job I can. So festivals it's not just our fans, it's new fans, and it's also we're sharing the stage with bands I look up to. So I just want to get up there and really turn heads. So yeah, it's a constant it's just a constant workflow for me.
I'm glad you said the words bands we looked up to, because my next question was, are there any bands or artists at Inkcarceration that you are excited to see or have maybe been influenced by?
Well, I believe Kill Switch is Kill Switch on this
Kill
year?
Switch, yeah, it is. Yep.
Yeah, that'll be cool. It's hard for me to keep track because we played so many festivals, but we shared the stage with Limp Bizkit, and that was so cool at Rockville. And it's just been like one band after the other, just really kind of sometimes I don't even know who's playing the festival, and then I get there and like I said, Limp Bizkit's playing. I'm like, oh shit, this is awesome. I gotta say, man, I'm really excited to see the Era Boys again. I love those guys. But bands I looked up to, the Offspring, I really excited to see them, and this will be the first time we've ever played a festival with them on it. Same with Killswitch Engage. So it's just it's really it's really exciting just to even be playing festivals with our friends like Bad Omens. We just got off tour with them, and I'm excited to just hang with those guys again and catch their show. I've never seen them in a festival setting, so it's a little bit of a mixed bag between like bands I look up to and just bands that I can't wait to see again after all this time.
Just running into old friends, honestly.
Running into old friends, man. It really is. Some of these festivals feel like high school. You're walking down the hallway and you're just seeing everyone that, seeing a lot of familiar faces. It really does have first day of school vibes.
Since 2016, that was your last big album. You had the 2018 follow-up. It was a little bit of acoustic stuff, but what have you guys been up to all these years?
Well, we decided to take a little bit of time off. We've been touring and releasing music since I was 15, signed. So,
oh yeah,
for me, really looking forward to just kind of taking a little bit of time and enjoying my life, my home life, and spending time with the family. And obviously, writing music never stops for us. So we were always in the studio together working and kind of planning. But right around 2020, obviously, we were working on a record and COVID happened. So instead of taking the music that we had, we decided to continue to write. And instead of putting things out at such a interesting time, we just decided to continue to be creative. And so our break just had this long extended period that we didn't expect. But it was really ultimately a really just good thing for all of us, because I think we were all a little burnt out by the end of 2018. So having some time off to really focus on our life and our family and our mental health was really powerful. And it led to a lot of really good music, a lot of really good songs and sessions and just camaraderie. And I think was just reinvigorating, just really put a fire into this new stuff. And COVID was horrible, but having that extra time to even work on more music was kind of a weird, unexpected blessing for us, because we had a lot of music, but having that extra time to try to beat it or even have revelations in these songs and have some of these songs change their minds. And it was really cool and just something we've never had, because you put out a record and you're already thinking about the next one. And that's just kind of the workhorse of the music industry. So to step out of that for a bit and have some time to really think about things and focus on the organic flow of creativity was just a really powerful experience for us.
So we were talking a little bit about the new music. What was the creative process like for the band with this new music?
Oh man, well, I moved to LA at right before COVID. So after we spent a lot of time making music together during COVID, we really spent a lot of time making music apart, and I think that was really a good thing for me, because it allowed me to really shine and focus on where I see the band going, and same with the other guys in the band. I mean, we're all very heavily involved in the writing, so we kind of had this like postal service thing going on where we're sending songs back and forth, and we're just working from afar, and we're just all taking shots at our own version and interpretation of the band. And then after COVID and we were able to kind of start traveling again, we all got together and made sense of all the chaos, and we have a lot of music. I mean, we have so much music we're sitting on right now. So a lot of people are itching for the record, but we're just having a lot of fun giving all these songs a moment, and putting out singles and really just kind of focusing on letting each song have its moment and have its time, have its video, and really letting these songs translate and have a visual experience along with the track itself. So yeah, man, I mean, the writing process was very different, but I think it's something that I think after every record you take a little bit of what you learned from the creative process and you apply it to what might be your state of normalcy in the studio.
Absolutely. Things must have changed since your teenage years of writing with Icy Stars. So
yeah, and for better and worse, I mean, it's back in the day we were in the garage writing, and we really hadn't hit the digital era of writing. It was very raw, and we really try to keep that alive in our music. We do jam together and we keep things happening from a live standpoint, but being able to kind of capture that in the digital era too, and focus a little bit more on hearing it as a listener, and then go back into the live room and jam it again. And you know what I'm saying? It's like going back and forth between being a garage band and being a studio band is really something that we pride ourselves in.
That's perfect. So let's take a step aside from music for a second. What do you guys do as far as hobbies when you're not all in on music?
I think for me, like my hobbies outside of music is really just very ordinary and I guess peaceful experiences, like cooking or doing yard work and stuff. Like I just really like doing things that I like. Creative hobbies, but I think there's so much creativity that goes into the band that following like a recipe and just like by the end of it, it's done and it works and it's there is like really, really it's really peaceful for me. Or like going in the backyard and mowing the lawn. Oh my God, I'm old. What am I talking about right now?
That's the one thing I hate doing, man.
Yeah. I like building things. I really like, I've been trying to, get a little bit of like carpentry in my life, and, I'm installing like turf myself and building decks and doing like stuff like that and really putting my hands to work. I've being outdoors, and, I think it's just like when you're in the studio as a musician, you're kind of in a cave, and then when you're on tour, you're like, in a bus and then in a green room. It's like, I like being outdoors. I like doing things that are outdoorsy. Me and my friends play beach volleyball, and I really like doing that. And, it's anything that's outdoors that puts me outdoors and puts my hands to work, gets my body moving. I mean, I really love that stuff,
Well, perfect. If you ever get an LLC together and you're doing all that stuff, I might have you get hired on for some remodeling projects.
Oh, you can hire me. Like 9 10 times I do it wrong the first time. So
Perfect. Talking to Devin right now from IC Stars. These guys are playing Incarceration Fest 2024. I want to know, do you have any memorable experiences, something fun, something funny from any tour over the years?
Yeah. God, I mean, I have so much stuff on this alone. Or I'm sorry, this is actually the Bad Omens tour. We set up a bunch of gummy bears in the front lounge of our bus, and we had these Nerf guns, and we pretty much set up like a little like shooting range with gummy bears. And I'm telling you, for like 3 days straight, we were trying to hit these gummy bears, and we couldn't hit one. And finally, I hit one, and it was like everyone just lit up. So I don't know if that's sad. Suggesting that there's nothing better to do on tour than to shoot gummy bears around, but yeah, that's kind of what happened. That's like the shenanigans that happens out here. We trying oh this is a really good story. So when we were practicing and rehearsing for our set, we put a fart in our intro. And on the Bad Omens tour, we forgot to take it out of the first show. Intro in front of like 2,000 people. 20 seconds in this intro, a huge fart just happens. And I'm talking, it's this like serious epic intro, and this fart happens. And we all have our in-ears in, and we're looking at each other, and we're all like a little bit nervous, right? We're about to play like our first really big tour. We're going out on this first big tour that we haven't toured in a long time. And, so there's a little bit of nerves. There's a little bit of like, we're all kind of in our own heads. And then this fart happens, and it's like, it completely broke the ice. All of a sudden, all the nerves, we're all laughing, and we're just like, you cannot make this up. And it's funny. It was an accident, but I think it was like the universe's way of saying, guys, chill out. You know what I mean?
Right.
Go up there and have fun. The fart already happened. You already farted in front of 2,000 people. It can't get worse. So just get up there and have a good time. And dude, I got to tell you, it was hilarious.
Oh, I'm gonna have to search for some videos on that. Mine was the the bruh sound effect.
Yeah.
We kept that in ours, and we totally forgot about that. And same thing. We're like, oh my God. So yeah, funny mistakes happen all the time.
We were looking, dude. We couldn't find a video anywhere, and we were so bummed. We wanted to post it. Our media guy didn't get anything. We were like, this moment just happened. And then the next show, we were like, should we leave it in and like get some footage of it? But then we're like, no, it happened. Like let it live, let it be what it was. It wasn't for the audience. It wasn't for a cool reel that would get a lot of views. It was for us. It was the universe's way of chilling us out before, our first show in a long time. So it was pretty funny.
Well, thank you for sharing those stories. I'm sure people will get a laugh out of those. I will say, though, if you ever bring that back one day, I will be ready. I'm sure other people will be watching and getting their videos and stuff like that.
Bring it back at Incarceration,
Yeah, that'd be fun. Let's see. If you could collaborate with any artist or band, who would it be and why?
So I think band, I would probably say 9 Inch Nails or Trent Reznor.
Damn, all right.
I think that would be really cool. And, just definitely a group of artists that we really look up to. I think collaboration in general, I would just love for Rick Rubin to sit in the room while we work and tell us his thoughts, because I just feel like when I listen to that guy talk about his experiences in the studio and his whole philosophy on the creative experience, it really does. Like, I feel like he's always speaking to like the journey I'm currently on. Like, I'm always learning, I'm always processing, I'm learning about the revelations of music, the seeds that we're planting, and, how songs change their minds. And I feel like, every time I listen to that guy talk, he's really just kind of saying all the things I'm currently learning about. And I just feel like I would love to know what he thinks now. I would love to be 10 steps ahead of where I am now. And I think that he's a genius, and I'd really love to just kind of hear what he has to say about our process and maybe how we can, relax a little bit more and have things come a little bit more organically and maybe not be so hard on ourselves. You know what I mean?
Well, now you have spoken it into the universe, so it has to happen at some point.
I love that. Yeah, man.
So you mentioned, so we're talking a little about the new music. Got a couple singles out right now, and I'm sure people will probably fight me if I don't ask this question. Album this year? Album next year? Any kind of time frame you're allowed to talk about?
So I haven't gotten confirmation that I could talk about anything, but I will say that there will be an album this year. I am pretty confident.
Okay.
Nothing is set in stone, but I think we're all very eager to not just get this music out, this body of work, but also to start looking into the future and what's next, because there's definitely an album that is a body of work that had a time and a place for us in the studio. But we've been working on new music, and we're just constantly writing right now. And we're very inspired. So I think just continuing to put music out and staying very consistent with our releases and trying to even catch up, and that way our music is more current, and we're excited about everything, and I think we're all anxious, and we're not trying to sit around and wait, we're really trying to get it out there. So I'm pretty confident I could say the record will come out this year. There is a record, it's finished. Everything about the record is finished. We have the artwork, we have the name that I cannot talk about, but we're all really excited about it. And I think everyone's goal is to have it out before the year's up.
Perfect. Thank you for sharing that. Got a couple follow-up. I got a couple questions at the end here. What's your take on the single release versus album release? Pros, cons, anything at all?
Well, I mean, listen, I grew up in a time where when an album came out, I completely obsessed over it, and I listened to it on repeat and annoyed everyone in my, surrounding element. Like I was playing it nonstop, and that's the time I grew up in. So naturally I have a soft place in my heart for releasing records. And I still do believe that there's people out there that do that. But I also think that time and time again, I put out records, and you see that, as you're going down the record, people or the streams get lower, which means people listen to about half your record, and then they, their attention span takes them elsewhere. Even on our most successful records, it's just a very common, waterfall effect that happens. And so for me, it's really sad because I really love and care about every song, we write. And so for me, what I've been realizing this year is putting out singles really allows a song to have a moment in time, and you can shape it, and you can put a video to it, and you can create a whole moment around it. And I really have been enjoying that, and I've been enjoying fans just having a moment with it and listening to it 3 or 4 times, and not bailing on it, so it's been really enjoyable for me. And I think it's going to be interesting to see after all these years of not putting out music, just kind of how an album performs, because it's been a while since we put out an album, so and I think the hearts of the fans are kind of falling more into album mode. I do think that fans are appreciating albums more, and they're able to stay, locked in. So I'm excited to see what it does and how I feel about it in this day and age, as opposed to judging it back in 2016, because that's pretty much what I'm doing right now. But I see, if I'm talking pros and cons, I think the pros of putting out a single is that, just focusing on the singles is there is kind of a little bit of a more accurate waterfall. If I'm a fan and I listen to, a single of 9 Inch Nails or something, new song, it's going to take me after that song is done to maybe another one of their more recent tracks, and so you're going to end up maybe hearing some new stuff that you haven't listened to, other singles that they put out. And we've been seeing a lot of that, especially with our consistent single releasing, strategy over the last 3 months. So I think that that's really cool. The waterfall effect is more of a positive thing, as opposed to when you're listening to an album, like I said, you kind of see the numbers start to dwindle as you get down, especially if your record's like 14, 15 tracks long, which is what our record is, So, but I think albums are special, man. And I think that, it's where I lean towards. It's where my heart is. It's what I love. It's what I grew up on. So I'm a little biased, but I really, really love conceptualizing a record. I like writing a record and knowing that it's an era of my life that I'm talking about. And all these songs, like the track listing is decided. They're all supposed to play into one another and really help you on this journey, So it's a passion of mine. I like doing that. I like creating that journey for people. So, and we've done it with this record. So, I think the biggest pro is, as an artist, it's a really enjoyable process to do that, but for the listener, I mean, it's hard for me to say that there's many pros, because people just want to move on to the next song. They listen to, 6 songs on a record, and then they're like, okay, I'm going to go listen to this band now. And I get it. I mean, like, dude, I'm an artist and I still do that sometimes, so it's like, there's just so much good music out there. And, our energies throughout the day are always shifting. We're listening to a heavy band, and then all of a sudden we want to go into our hit a soft spot, So I don't know, man. I think that would just be, I think there's pros and cons to both, but I think at the end of the day, the goal is just to get people to listen to our music. So, it'll be interesting to see how an album plays out in 2020, 2024.
Perfect answer. I've seen pros and cons on both sides. I've seen the debate on both sides. There's success on both sides. There's failure on both sides. There's no right or wrong way. If it works for you, do it. If not, hey, that's okay. Do the other one. Do whatever you want. There's no rules in music. Just have fun, put music out, and have a good time. Do you have any advice that you would like to give to maybe aspiring musicians looking to make their mark?
Yeah, I mean, the best advice that I was given recently is just, 90% of music that is written doesn't come out. It's like people give their music too much time to change its mind, and I just feel like the best advice I can give to a newer artist is just release everything, put everything out, don't overthink it, understand that like what you like might not be what other people like, and what you don't like might be what other people like. So I can't tell you how many times we put out a record and there was a song that I was like, should this be on the record? I don't know. I'm not sure. And then next thing you know, it's performing better than the songs you felt really good about. So it's like, you kind of just got to trust like that sometimes there's like a cosmic conspiracy going on that you don't quite understand. And are going to digest your music differently than you anticipated. And so you just got to release everything. You got to put everything out, and don't give yourself enough time to change your mind about a song. Put it out, move on, and enjoy that process. Enjoy the imperfection of your music, and understand that like fans are okay with growing with you as a creator, as an artist. You don't come out of the gate perfect. As a matter of fact, it's the imperfections, I think, in music that makes it special. And so, I believe you just kind of got to trust that, and you got to trust that the human element is what everyone loves. And if you put your music out, if you put everything out, you're already, light years ahead of artists, even like us, who, sometimes we sit on a song that we really loved and we gave it enough time to annoy us and we don't put it out. And that's part of the 90% of our catalog that like will never see the light of day, So we're really trying to, even as an established artist, we're really trying to overcome that, and defeat that, stigma that a lot of artists kind of fall victim to. So as a young artist, if you can do that, if you can learn how to make peace with your music and just put it out constantly, consistently, and proudly, you're already, I believe, 10, 15 steps ahead of even artists like us who are still learning to, manage ourselves through the woes of that process.
Any final things you want to say to fans?
We'll see you at Inkcarceration, and we'll see you, we'll see you on tour. We have a lot of really great tours coming up, and we're finally starting to see ourselves booking more stuff overseas. So, we're just like really excited to play places we've never played, and hit the stage in areas that we just haven't played in a long time. So, I would just say check out our tours and come join us, because our live shows have been a lot of fun, and really, like, for me, like, writing music is a passion of mine, but performing is really where my heart lies. So, would love to share that with our fans and this new era. So
Devin,
yeah.
an absolute pleasure speaking with you this afternoon. Thanks for spending a little bit of time with me. I hope to run into you sometime at Inkcarceration, say hi, shake your hand, and can't wait to see your set. I'm going to talk to you here in a little bit off air, okay?
Sounds good. Thanks for having me.
All right, guys, that was Devin from I See Stars. These guys are performing at Inkcarceration this year. If you want to see them, well, you got to go over to the Infirmary stage on Sunday, July 21st at 4:05 p.m., right after Kingdom of Giants, right before Era. These guys got new music out, so of course you got to check that out. And hey, we got a new album coming sometime this year. Thanks for checking out this episode of the podcast. We'll see you guys next time.